Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those new here, hi, my name's Jenny and I'm a third-year family medicine resident. So this week is a major week for me because I will be applying to family medicine positions in the outpatient setting for part-time. So it's really nerve-wracking to be like, this is what I've worked up to like all my life and this is gonna be like my career. I know medicine is like forever learning, but this is like a huge step, and I feel like you guys have been there with me through medical school, through residency, through my childbirth and all that stuff. So it's only fit if you guys follow me on this process as well when applying for jobs and this whole transition process. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so nervous. So let's calm down. But I'm like speaking louder because I'm getting so nervous. I just want to start off by saying that I think doctors are so ill prepared and not very well educated on the whole business aspect of like finding a job, careers, resumes, negotiations, all that stuff, just because no one teaches us these things in medical school or residency. There's no resources, at least for me. And I think that that puts us at such a disadvantage because the hospitals that are hiring physicians is a business, and they're looking out for them first. And so we as doctors are so focused on patient care that we have forgotten that aspect of medicine. So I just wanted to share this process with you, some of the things that I'm doing, some of the research that I'm looking into of how to better prepare myself for this situation particularly. As I said, I know nothing about business, and so if any of you guys have tips for me, leave it in the comment section. I'll be reading through all of those. Just heading to the hospital now and sending in some more resumes. Ah! So these are just some of the questions that I've written down. If they have, you know, what's the MA to physician ratio, if there's an RN, if there's coding, if there's psych. So I'm pretty sure there's lots more. I just haven't gotten there yet.
Most people perceive to be a relatively low-paying field of internal medicine in a competitive marketplace that Chicago area is. So let's get started with Dr. G, diversifying. This was a getting long episode, so I made it a two-part episode. So this will be episode part one. And
I think that's one of the things that I really wanted to touch on, like how do physicians get paid? I think there's a common misconception that doctors prescribe medications, do procedures, or just refer or do different things because they get paid or because they get a kickback, and that is not the case. And it gets me really frustrated when people think that, because then there is a sense of distrust and a break in that patient and doctor relationship that isn't really beneficial in the long term of like healthcare, because my goal is to develop a relationship with my patients, and I feel like that's the only way I will be able to help in their overall like health, if that makes sense. So when I prescribe a medication, it is not because I'm getting money for it. It does not mean that I'm getting kickback for it. And even say brand names, when people come in asking me to prescribe those things, I prescribe it for them because they ask, and I can't convince them otherwise, but I don't get any money for it. And most of the time insurance won't cover it. So they'll come back to me feeling really upset, and then I prescribe the generic brand anyways. Other procedures, I tell people, you know, like if you're trying to remove a skin tag, this may be cosmetic and the insurance might not cover it, but if it's inflamed and if, you know, it's irritated, then I could possibly take it off, but there's no guarantees that insurance will pay for something. Also, like things like MRIs and things that I say like the patient needs, like my patient needs this, you know, she was running and she fell and now she can't walk and her knee is swollen. I suspect that she has like a meniscal tear or something like that. And the only way you can see that is with MRI. But insurance companies will say, no, you cannot get an MRI unless you've done 6 weeks of physical therapy, unless you've done x-rays first, or unless you had an injection first. And so insurance companies make us jump through all these hoops in order to get this testing. And it's not because I don't want to get the testing, it's just what is being covered. So even if I order it and the patient can't afford it, you know, like we're going in circles here. And so a lot of the time I feel like my hands are tied and the physician is like this middle person who is trying to advocate for the patient. At the same time, we get the most heat, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, London? Does that make sense, babe?
Yes.
Where you got really mad that you had to pay $500 to get labs, and you were like, "Oh yeah,
I think that was a little different because they told me that my insurance would cover it, and then when I came back later, it wasn't covered.
Well, the doctors don't really know what
But they
insurance.
told me. I said I don't need it done, and they said, "Well, it'll be covered by your insurance, so if it should be free."
The nurse practitioner told you that, not the
Yeah.
front desk.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
whoever-
she doesn't know.
I'm just saying the place that I went to. That's what they said, and then I get a bill for like $600.
Jeff. Jeff. Hey, right in the eyes. Ah, you got me in the eye. Ah.
Chup.
Ah. Ah.
Mama, want to fly.
You want more fly? Like how?
How?
How? Okay. Ooh. Ready?
That's mine.
It's yours. Oh, what are we gonna do? To infinity and beyond. Ready? Where are your wings? One, two, your wings.
Mama, want more fly.
Hey guys, so I fell asleep last night just because I was tired hanging out with the kids. So I just wanted to give you guys some resources that I've been using. My friend recommended the Dr. Money Matters podcast. I was not able to listen to many of the podcasts. Like I would listen to the first like 10 minutes and they didn't even really go into depth about anything yet, just because like I had kids running around and I'd picked them up from school. So something to look into. My preceptor, he is an anesthesiologist with a pain fellowship. He just recently like into investing and stuff. So he recommended the book 5 Mistakes of Negotiation and the Contract Bible. I'll link those, or I'll list them in the description box down below. But yeah, so I don't know. This is, I guess it's like really nerve-wracking to me trying to find a part-time job, just because I am going to be working part-time. 1, 2, I have a huge amount of debt. If you guys know, I think by the end of residency it'll be around $350,000 around there. Stan does real estate and he'll go back to doing that full-time. But the thing about real estate is that it's very not like guaranteed. And so to not have a steady income come in, or like to be dependent on my half income salary to pay off loans and all that stuff, it's a little bit like, it makes me a little bit nervous, you know. And I think the one thing that people don't realize about working part-time or even working full-time as a family medicine provider, as a primary care provider, they say, oh yeah, full-time you work 4 days, but that's at least 36 patient hours. That means that the time, 36 hours counts when you're face to face with the patient. That does not count you chart prepping, which is looking at the charts beforehand. That doesn't count you calling them on the phone to tell them their lab results, or looking up their lab results, reviewing all their labs and images. This does not count like talking to insurance companies, writing their notes. So at the end of the day, if you're working full time as a family medicine doctor, outpatient, you can work up to 60, 80 hours a week. Sure, people are like, oh, that's just how much you work in residencies. You'll just have weekends off. In my head, I'm like, no, that's not, like, I don't want to work like that anymore. Like, I'm not willing to miss this time with my kids. I'm never going to have this time back. You know, they're so young and they're so cute and adorable and they love me so much. And I feel like at some point, they're going to have their own friends. At some point, it's not going to be cool to hang out with their mom anymore, or it's not going to be cool to like want to snuggle with her in bed or watch TV or do activities. Like, you know, like I want to treasure this time when I still can. And so I'm willing to live with this like huge loan and pay it off a little bit slower. I've made financial videos in the past of what I'm doing with my loan debt as of currently, so I'm not paying anything, and there are reasons why. I'll link them here and in the description box. But people got really angry, and I'm just like, why? You know, like, this is not your loan. Especially like the Dave Ramsey cult, like they got really mad and they think that I'm doing it all wrong. But like, this is what's best for my family, and this is what I think is financially like the right move, I would say. So you guys will continue to see me through this process. I'm going to share with you everything I learned, hopefully teach you about like negotiations and interviews for the real world, because I know a lot of you that want to go into medicine, or like not even in medicine at all, these are good qualities or skills to have. And I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes along the way, and I hope that you learn from me. But yeah, so I'll list everything I know, resources in the description box down below. My friend even sent me like a list of questions, and I'm hoping maybe I can put something in a Google Doc so you guys can look at it. I wanted to put in like a resume format that I used for clinic-based resume, I guess, but I don't really know how to do that yet, so I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, if you guys have any comments, tips for me, anyone who's seasoned at this, please leave it in the comment section below. I love learning from you guys. I love getting to know you guys down there. If you haven't already, please subscribe, join the family, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace. Jump, jump.
Yeah. Oh no. What the hell?
What happened? Okay, ready?
Oh no, what high?
Okay, you're gonna jump. Ready? One, jump. 1, 2, 3, go!
Mom,
Jump, jump.
oh no.